Hi, my name's Gary Goldsmith, and I live in Heath, Ohio. I own property in Heath, Ohio, and I pay tax dollars to the Heath City Schools. I have two sons who graduated from Heath City Schools, and have always supported their levies in the past. In this state, the Ohio Supreme Court has told the Ohio legislature four times, four times, got it? To fix the school funding system. And our legislators, led by Jay Hottinger, Tim Schaefer, Bill Hayes, these three guys have a combined 45 years of experience in the state legislature. And they have been there the entire time this fiasco known as school funding's been going on. And they have not one of them has introduced a single bill to fix the school funding system. You know, we're going to drug test welfare people. We're going to allow guns everywhere. We're going to have stand your ground, defensive marriage. All of those things got done. But school funding has never gotten done. Our young people have taken a backseat to every stupid, trivial piece of legislation that these three guys could think of. Not a single job's been created, and school funding goes untouched. But not just these three guys, but the entire Republican Party and their agenda. Republican Party supports wealthy people. They don't support working people. I don't know how much more clear that can be. Which brings me to why I'm talking to you. I received this in the mail. This gentleman, Scott Ryan, is running for state representative as a Republican, because that seat's being vacated by Jay Hottinger, who's on the State House merry-go-round. He jumps from the State House to the Senate and back to the State House and then to the Senate again, because he thinks that's what term limits meant. Didn't mean you didn't get to keep your job, just meant you went from one job to the other. I don't think when term limits was passed in this state that they intended on this rotation process that Jay Hottinger so willingly embraces. But that's not why I'm here to talk to you, okay? What I want to talk to you about is this guy. For some reason, the Heath City Schools apparently think it's okay if he stands in front of the building with one of their employees who is endorsing him. Now my question is, why would the Heath City Schools allow this to happen? The state party, the state Republican Party, the Republican legislation, the governor of this state, a Republican, have all cut school funding. So consequently, every time we turn around, there's a levy on the ballot that raises our property taxes. Now Jay Hottinger, Schaefer, Hayes, even Kasich, or T-Berry for that matter, they're all going to tell you that they don't raise taxes. But they do. Because what they do is they cut funding for municipalities, for cities, for schools, and then they have to raise taxes. I don't see how that's any different. That's what's known as a backdoor tax increase. And this guy seems to think that it's all right to stand in front of a Heath City school with one of their employees, Dave Clons, and make it look like they're endorsing him. They're basically, if the Heath City Schools are endorsing this guy, then they're slapping the hand that's feeding them. That's what they're doing. They're working against their own self-interest. They're constantly wanting more money, and the state constantly cuts their funding. So every election we see a different levy on the ballot. And these guys, Scott Ryan is no different than Jay Hottinger, than Tim Schaefer, or any of them. In fact, on his list of endorsements, Pat T-Berry, Tim Schaefer, and Bill Hayes all endorse him for this position. Now, do you think they would endorse somebody that didn't embrace their philosophy of cutting school funding, not fixing the school funding system? I don't know about you, but I've had enough of this. I've had enough of this garbage. I've had enough of these other issues taking precedence over jobs, our education, the education of our young people, and so many other things that are necessary that they're just ignoring. So we need to stop voting for these people. And the city school system needs to tell this guy to cease and desist. Unless they're really endorsing him. And if they are, then I have a problem with that. And there won't be another levy go through this city that I'll either embrace, endorse, or vote for. And I'll make sure it fails. And I think you should do the same thing. If you work for a living and you vote for a Republican, you're cutting your own throat.